This is Secret America with your hosts, Jack Danger and James Clary.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Jack Danger along with James Clary. And I want to ask the chat real quick. We seem to be having, it's never happened before to us, and it may not even be coming through to you guys, but I want to make sure. Let me know in the chat if you guys hear any kind of weird, like maybe like a hissing sound, because I don't know what's
on my end particularly.
When you hear him talking right now,
Jack says that I'm hissing at him.
Yeah, it's some kind of weird. I don't know what it is, and it may just be on my side.
Do you hear it on my microphone, people?
Yeah. Anyways, it's crazy because we just saw the whole Charlie Kirk thing. It was amazing. I mean, you had 300,000 people show up. 90,000, I think, were inside the stadium. 300,000 or more were outside. And they're calling this a Nazi rally. This is what they're saying on the left. I mean, I see like people like Ellen Barkin, who was, some kind of actress apparently, saying that, just remember that after the Nuremberg rally came the Nuremberg trials. And I'm thinking these people are absolutely insane. How can they think this kind of thing? Okay, the left are the people who burn down the cities. They are the ones who murder their opposition. Okay, they're the ones who are doing all these horrible things, yet they abort the babies. They cheer murder of people, yet we're the ones that's causing the problem. I mean, I don't understand their thought process here, James. We have a peaceful rally that is just nice, loving, it's Christian. And by the way, ABC did not show the Christian part. For everybody that was watching, if you watched on ABC, you missed the Christian part at the beginning. You missed the prayer and all of those things. They were hiding it from you. And that tells you all you need to know, James, especially since they just brought back Jimmy Kimmel. What do you think?
Well, that was basically the mainstream media tried to paint it as like a political, like a Trump rally, when in fact, I think the only way you could describe it was a revival. I've never. Oh, that's you, Jack, saying. See, I don't think anyone can hear hissing, Jack.
Well, Green Eye says it isn't loud, so it doesn't matter. So it's all good. Go ahead, man.
Okay, but it was like a revival. They even had an altar call, and people stood up and accepted Christ. And the thing is, we as Christians have been so cowed down for the last 20, 30 years. And America's churches, Charlie Kirk talked about this, they're lost. My girlfriend went to church. A mutual friend of ours who we kind of lost touch with reached out to my girlfriend, and she's very upset about the Charlie thing. She's been crying. She said, I want to go to church. So Leanne took her to church Sunday. I don't have a current church. We're actually looking, but so Leanne took her, and the sermon and everything was about the structure of deacons in the Baptist church. I mean, my point is, America's churches are lost. They aren't talking about the issues that matter. And you wander around, you go in these churches and you look around, it's all people my age and older. I'm 65. And Charlie spoke to the youth.
He did. And that's the thing. And I put out a tweet earlier that I think was very interesting. And it says, I put out a tweet that said, in life, he tried to change America, but in death, he did change America. There are now hundreds of thousands of youth going to churches now that have never gone before because of his death. I've seen massive amounts of posts saying, oh yeah, we're starting this church, we're reigniting our Christian faith. Common sense is coming back to America thanks to Charlie Kirk. And that thing was a revival. It was unbelievable. It was spectacular. Whoever missed it really missed out. And what I don't understand is why the left would want to. First of all, there were people out there protesting in front of this memorial. Not only that, but there was a woman pregnant that walked by. One of the leftists says, "I hope you lose your baby." Those were her exact words on the video. She said, "I hope you lose your baby."
Very few of them, though.
It's horrible. It's sickening, though, the way these people act towards people that are honestly just peaceful and trying to be happy. And I'll tell you why, James. The number one reason why: they're angry, they're hurt, they're unhappy, and they feel misery loves company. And if they're unhappy, they want to make everybody else unhappy. But what I don't understand is if you're unhappy, why not join our side and become happy? Why stay unhappy? We will welcome any leftist that wants to come in, except for maybe Keith Olbermann. We'll welcome any other leftist other than Keith Olbermann.
They're lost, man. They're truly lost. And somebody said, Free said it is hissing a bit. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We apologize for it's probably on my end with this stupid new mixer I got. But anyway, they're lost. And, if I got anything out of that, and first of all, I've never really listened to, what would you call it, modern Christian music?
Gospel. Yeah.
Yeah, but not gospel, really. I think of gospel as more the old time. I'm talking about contemporary. That was the word I was looking for. Contemporary Christian music. Brandon Lake and that song he does, Gratitude. I listened to it about 3 times today, and I cried every time. I'm just going to be honest. It was amazing. The music, the first guy didn't like that much, but once they got Brandon Lake and there were a few others, I actually wrote them all down. There was Carrie Job, Phil Wickman, Cody Carnes, and Sean Fucht, and Brandon Lake, as I mentioned. I mean, it was amazing. Everyone I've listened to today, and I've listened to several people that were there, including Michael Knowles and Megan Kelly, they said as soon as you walked in and Glenn Beck, you just felt the spirit. I mean, that was the most that politicians have talked about Jesus in 100 years.
Yes.
I've never seen that. And what I was starting to say is that we as Christians have been so cowed, including myself, that, we're like, oh, well, we can't really talk about our faith in public, I wore this. I always wear this crucifix that Leanne gave me. I wore it out of my shirt, and I'm going to.
That's awesome, man. That's nice
forevermore. Because I used to say, oh, well, I don't want to offend anybody. Screw that. I'm a Christian. I'm proud of it. It's the religion of peace. We haven't burned anything down. And one thing I got, Jack, and I'll stop, but what I got out of yesterday is that when I saw Erica Kirk forgive the killer, and I knew that's the Christian thing to do, because of the non-forgiveness, the hate, the anger, it eats us up. It's not about them. I just made a decision that, like on X, I'm very known to hurl insults and call people nasty words and curse. And I just decided, you know what? Charlie Kirk never won a single person to his side by doing that. He won people over to his side because he was one of the very few people that practiced the Christianity. He really did. He practiced it. And so, Michael Tracy had some snarky thing to say yesterday on Twitter, and I just said, I'm going to pray for you, brother. And I meant it. I want people to accept. I'd love it if people accepted Christ, but for those that don't, just know that, we don't wish violence on you. We don't wish ill will. I know you started that first show after he got killed. It's like, I want war, and I get it. We're all angry, and the anger is okay. Righteous anger directed in a direction is one of the most useful tools in America, but we have to remember that we're not going to win people over with insult and ad hominem.
but I have to say that where we are now in America, I really don't think there is any reconciliation or coexisting. I think it's either war or national divorce. And I was thinking about this yesterday, and Marjorie Taylor Greene makes a good point on national divorce. She's for it also, and I am too. I wouldn't mind cutting some of these states loose. You know, they can fend for themselves, you know, make their own country. I don't mind cutting New York, California, Colorado. Let's cut them loose. You know, we can all, I mean, the red states can stay red. The blue states can vote if they want to leave us or not. And then they can go live their lives. And we'll see how long that country of theirs actually persists, because we can stay with the United States of America's name, the Constitution, and then they can do whatever the hell they want. And we'll see how long that actually lasts. So if I'm not for civil war, I'm definitely for national divorce and seceding. But I will say that with the way people are today, there's no reconciliation is not possible. And am I a Christian? I believe in God. Let me put it that way. I believe in God. I don't know if I'd go as far as to say I'm a practicing anything, but I believe in God. And I will say that, you know, in the Christian Bible, God turns the other cheek. In the Talmud, in the Jewish Bible, God can be very vengeful. And, you know, I happen to think that, you know, even God sometimes wants to kick an ass or two. And, you know, that to me, things, the leftists are just, they're beyond reproach at this point. They're beyond repair. You know, you can't fix some of these people. They are so far gone.
Well, I think people sometimes make.
Yeah.
And this thing's freezing up or something.
Yeah. When you stopped talking, it froze for a second.
You know, there's a difference between forgiveness and justice. I mean, Erica Kirk forgave the killer. Doesn't mean that she doesn't want to see justice, and that she doesn't want him to be found guilty and probably put to death. You know, that you can forgive somebody, but that doesn't absolve them of their crime. As far as national divorce, you know, have you ever heard of the Greater Idaho movement? There was an actual movement. Several rural counties in eastern southern Oregon have proposed leaving Oregon and joining neighboring Idaho. And it, you know, because, I mean, Oregon is, gosh, it's a beautiful state. And much like California, much of it is conservative, but the bigger cities, you know, in Seattle, stuff, they're all liberal, blue. And I think there's going to be a growing movement for it. If we can't live with them, then let's divide. I mean,
and I think we should.
Well, we've been talking about a national divorce for 5 years. You know,
I'd love a real national divorce movement. I'd love to push that shit, because honestly, like I said, some of these people you can't coexist with anymore. They are no longer what you would call people that you can coexist with. I mean, they're just not. So, you know, letting them have their own space. They want the transgender bathrooms. They want all these ridiculous laws. Let's see how long their country lasts before they come begging to us to come back. That's what I'd love to see.
Yeah, and Deb had a good point. Look, I would just want them to say, you know, we took it a little bit too far. You know, calling you fascists and Nazis, we've got to tell them. But they won't. I mean, I watched Piers Morgan today and had this Wajahat Ali guy. It's just, he's insufferable. During the whole memorial service, he was hate tweeting, you know, hate posting. And the thing is, as soon as like Piers tried to call this guy out and said, "Do you think that Trump said," you know, it's just,
and that's that's exactly what you just said right there is why they killed Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk could get through to that person when they say, "Well, Trump said." Charlie could actually talk to them, get through to them, and we don't have anybody like that anymore. I'm not a Ben Shapiro fan. I don't even know who Britland is. I don't want these people trying to replace Charlie Kirk. I'm sorry.
Britland. Who's that?
I don't know. It's some guy who apparently is going to be doing some of the college things. Apparently some people know who he is. I have no idea who he is. Never heard of him. And he almost looks like a fake person. It's really weird.
I'll tell you who ought to do it. And it's not Ben Shapiro. It's Milo.
Milo. I mean,
or Stephen
it would just
Crowder.
be weird having a British person telling Americans, you know, what they need to do. It just sounds strange.
Yeah, but these are cultural issues that you know, are affecting Europe more so than America.
Hell yeah, they are.
Most, you know, Milo, Stephen Crowder, but Crowder, you know, Crowder was the first guy to do this. Really, he was the first one. Changed my mind. But man, I heard him on a podcast with Tim Pool recently, and they don't talk about it very much for security reasons. The number of death threats that those guys have gotten, the number of times they've had shit thrown at it, like concrete milkshakes, I mean, I don't blame them for not doing it. I mean, it was tearing their family up. Crowder got divorced, and I think some of it was just the constant danger that his family was put under. It's got to be incredibly stressful.
Oh, I'm sure it does. But I'm glad you brought up Steven Crowder, because that brings me to our next subject, because I kind of want to move along. We've been talking about Charlie Kirk's thing for the past 2 episodes, and I love Charlie Kirk, and it just sucks that we're not going to have any more viral clips from him. We're not going to have any more speeches. We're not going to have anything else from him. And I mean, memories are nice, but future things are even better. And it just sucks that he's not going to be here. But I want to say that, speaking of Steven Crowder, did you hear that he actually obtained marital records that show Ilhan Omar did indeed marry her brother? He has obtained the marital records that show that Ilhan Omar actually did marry her brother. It is no longer a rumor or speculation, according to Steven Crowder. He has the marital records. What do you think about that?
I think it's been out for a while. I think it's widely known, and I don't understand why.
I mean, we got
once again,
though,
where does this take us back to, Jack? What's the one conversation we have every week about the lack of action from the DOJ?
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, James, did you see? And this was the thing I wanted to talk about more than anything. Did you see the tweet that Trump put out, the Truth Social post? Okay, he put Truth Social post out. He quickly deleted it because I honestly, I don't think he meant to put it as a Truth Social.
I think it was a DM.
I think it was a text that he was sending.
Now.
Yeah, and so get this. I want to actually put it up for everybody to see, because this was unbelievable, okay? Well, I can't really find it at the moment, but I want to tell everybody, I want to just read it real quick, because James, it was the best thing I had ever seen, and obviously it was something private. It was not something that he meant to put out there, which is why he quickly deleted it. But it said, Pam, I have reviewed over 30 statements and posts saying that essentially same old story as last time. All talk, no action. Nothing is being done. What about Comey, Adam Shifty Shift, Letitia? They're all guilty as hell, but nothing is going to be done. Then we almost put a Democrat-supported U.S. attorney in Virginia with a really bad Republican past, a woke rhino. And then I'm just going to skip forward. And he said, he was saying that's why 2 of the worst Dem senators pushed this person so hard. He said, they impeached me twice. They indicted me 5 times over nothing. Justice must be served because it is killing our reputation and credibility, and we cannot delay any longer. And the funny thing is, he put that out there, which I think he actually either he meant to put it as a message to show everybody and then delete it, or it was actually supposed to go to Pam herself. But he quickly deleted it, and people there's a rumor going around that it was Susie Wiles that forced him to delete that message. And then right after that, he puts out a thing saying Pam Bondi's doing a great job as Attorney General. She is very careful, very smart, loves our country. He put that out after he removed this. Then he puts out another thing. Did you know that right after that, Lindsay Halligan was appointed special assistant to the president of the White House? And that's the Lindsay that he was talking about in the text that he sent to Pam. So that confirms that Pam text was real. What he was talking about is genuine.
Oh yeah,
he meant what he said there.
I totally believe it. What the hell's going on in the Department of Justice?
There's nothing going on, and he's pissed off now too.
Well, I think they're co-opted. I think, look, we come in, we put 3 people in place, and that we know about: Bongino, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, and they probably put 2 to 3, maybe 4 dozen other Trump loyalists in those departments. There's thousands of people that work there, Jack. The deep state and the bureaucracy. Look, I've heard it a million times. These bureaucrats, they know that Trump's only going to be in office for so long. When Trump's gone, Pam Bondi's gone, Kash Patel's gone, Dan Bongino's gone. So they just wait it out.
Exactly. Did you know that they haven't done any of his nominees? Now they after this text, or either right before or after this text, they pushed through 48 of Trump's judicial nominees at one time. Before that, He had a backlog of all of his nominees because Pam Bondi and the Senate, nobody was doing anything. It's like Trump got a shot in the ass and suddenly grew some balls and decided to tell his administration, here's what the hell needs to happen. They started doing it, and then Susie Wiles reels him in and says, look, Trump, that shit's not going down on my watch. Delete that shit. Say you love Pam Bondi. Say you love Lindsey Halligan, and don't ever talk about it again. And I think that's what happened.
No, man. I hate just beating this dead horse, and I got to agree with Free. I didn't really agree with this last statement, but this one I do totally. The Epstein and the COVID. COVID's the worst crime to be committed on humanity in the last 100 years.
Yeah,
and our own Defense Department developed the freaking virus. We paid for it. It killed millions of people. We were working with the CCP. Not one person, not one, has paid any price. It's almost laughable at this point. Now, the big investigation into Charlie's assassination. I love that, investigate everything. But
it's going to be a lone wolf again. And do you really think
what happened to Epstein?
Nothing. And I mean, it's just so ridiculous, some of the things that are going down. I mean, there is even, apparently there are texts that come out about this whole assassination thing where he was talking with his people. There's a lot of people that knew beforehand that it was going to happen. And it's just, but yet it's always a lone wolf situation when they assassinate one of us. It's always a lone wolf, never anybody else involved. Nobody pushed him. Nobody gave him the idea. Nobody gave him the gun. None of that stuff. It's always
those texts between his lover Twig, that Twig guy. His.
I will say your hissing is gone, man. It sounds perfect now.
Oh, good. Well, the text between his lover and himself, the Tyler and his lover Twig guy that the DOJ released it. Everybody's like, what? Who uses that kind of terminology? And there was no timestamp on the text.
Nope.
Why?
None.
Why no timestamp? And who says I'm going to retrieve my firearm from my vehicle?
I wonder if those texts were actually fake, sent out there for a reason.
That's what I'm saying. It sounds like a Fed wrote them.
Yes. Exactly. And honestly, I like what Free said right here. And I think this is the truth. Trump has grudges, not a desire for justice. And I think that's true because Trump said that his thing was supposed to be a revenge tour. That's based on grudge, not justice. Now, I was all for the revenge tour because I wanted revenge on the government, which he did not get. But justice is what matters most to us, the Republicans, which is what we voted for. Trump didn't want justice. He wanted grudges. We have grudges too, but we need justice more than anything. And James, you know who we need justice against? People like Antifa. And I will say that Trump finally designated Antifa as a terrorist organization. They are finally a terrorist organization. And so did the Netherlands. And I want to say Turkey or somebody else, also Hungary, also made them a terrorist organization right after Trump did. A couple other places did. But I will say that as soon as the next president gets in, if it's a Democrat, they will no longer be a terrorist organization. That label will be ripped from them and they'll be able to fly and do whatever the hell else they want. But James, did you also see what's going on with the people like Jasmine Crockett? You know how dumb she is. You know that her seat is about to be taken out once these redrawn gerrymander lines in Texas get taken out. Did you see what she said? And you might have seen this, but I want to get your take on how smart you think she is. I'm going to put this up for everybody to hear. And this is right here. This is exactly what she says. It's actually a video. So I'm going to put it up for everybody to hear right here. And I want you to tell me, I want to get your impression, James, of what happened right here. So let's listen in.
I understood what was kind of pushing them there. And so I do want people to know that just because someone has committed a crime, it doesn't make them a criminal. That is completely different. Being a criminal is more so about your mindset.
So apparently being a criminal is a mindset, James. It's not something you do. It's a mindset. If you commit a crime, that doesn't make you a criminal. It's all about what you're thinking about.
Yeah, and you notice how her inflection's totally different, that in that particular interview, she dropped the ratchet, ghetto, hood rat dialect. And
Yep.
she's speaking as she normally speaks because she went to prep schools and was raised in a wealthy family.
When she goes to the news outside, she'll have a weave on and, be talking with the fingernails. And all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's so stupid. But the other side's so stupid. I could see her AOC's talking about making a Senate run.
Actually, she's talking about making a presidential run now.
Yeah. I could see her getting elected to the U.S. Senate, and that's just frightening. She'd have to beat Schumer, but look, they're about to put a communist as mayor of New York. So,
and they will, and honestly, there's no other good option other than, I would say Adams would be the best option, but they're not going to vote him in after all the bullshit that went down. But even Cuomo's a grandma killer. He was one of the worst people in the world. He was the person that sent all these people to. He was the one that sent all these people to the nursing homes to have their grandmothers killed by COVID. That's what he did. But I will say there's actually a few good things that are happening now, James. And did you hear that Trump has said he is also there? It says actually President Trump is going to designate other left-wing groups as terrorist organizations as well, not just Antifa. Now, we don't have the names of those organizations yet, but there will be others. Maybe the Anti-Defamation League.
He's looking at the funding, too. You've got to look at organizations like Tides and the Ford Foundation that fund all these things. Because if they're funding, that's how they got Capone. It's the funding. You follow the money. So, if the Tides Foundation is funding Antifa, so, like I mentioned a couple shows ago, who paid for the frickin' pallets of bricks on the sidewalks? Who pays for their training? These guys are getting firearms. Who pays for their meetings? Who pays for the printing? All of that stuff,
Exactly. No, you're absolutely right.
And I do want to bring up a point that Britt Conch Lass made me remember. This is my girlfriend and I argue about this stuff all the time and about the justice part. And Leanne always has made this point. She said, look, take the guy that threw the sub sandwich at the ice guy and they brought it, they charged him. He was let go. Her point is, look, they're trying to build cases outside of D.C. because if they try them in D.C., they're just going to get off. And I think she has a point there. So, it may be that some of these cases like Letitia James, like Adam Schiff, like even people involved with the COVID scandal, maybe they're trying to build cases elsewhere.
Well, even Trump, you saw the tweet. He said that she's not doing shit. That he's like, what the hell's going on with the Adam Schiff and the Letitia? Because they're not doing shit. These people have evidence that they are guilty of mortgage fraud. A lot of these people, yet none of them are being prosecuted. They prosecuted Trump as a former president. Local prosecutors prosecuted this man. Yet local prosecutors are not getting involved. Federal prosecutors are not getting involved. What in the hell is going on here?
And then she goes on Fox News and says she wants to ban hate speech. And
that's terrible. There is no such thing as hate speech.
She's awful.
Hate speech.
Well, you can't. Free speech isn't absolute in the First Amendment. You can't incite violence.
But when they say hate speech, they're talking about, you can't, say, transgender. You can't say certain things about, you don't like black people. You don't like transgender.
Or the N-word. You can't use the N-word. And actually, in America, you can, but you can get prosecuted for it in many states and counties.
And that should be illegal.
I agree.
There is no such thing as hate speech. Now, there might be such things as like violent speech where you're inciting violence or you're threatening someone. But as far as hate speech, no. Speech is speech. It should be protected. Now, let me tell you, James, if I say the N-word in some of those states and they prosecute me, what if a black person calls me a cracker in some of those states? Are they going to prosecute them?
No, not in
No,
those
they're
states.
not. There's no such thing as hate speech. It's subjective.
Oh, I agree. Totally. That was and she got ripped to shreds by our side. Everybody. Everybody said, what are you talking about? She's way in over her head, man. And I really think Trump is just drawing this out. Like Free says, she needs to go. Matt Gaetz would have been awesome.
Oh, yeah.
We need a firebrand, somebody that's going to kick some ass. I don't understand what's happening. I really don't. Go back to the New York, to the Wiener laptop. I mean, we have this evidence of this stuff.
Mhm.
It's there. The FBI has collected it, and nothing's being done.
You
People,
know what I find interesting? I'm sorry, go ahead.
what? No, I just said people are fed up. That's it.
Oh, they are. But you know what I find interesting? Russia actually is doing things that America should be doing. What Russia is doing right now is Russia is actually going to seize financial assets of international Satanists. I mean, they are actually
Yeah.
looking at people that practice Satanism behind closed doors that you may not know about it. And believe me, it's a lot of the people that you think are good people, or that you think are leftists. They practice the Satanism, most of them, in fact, especially in Hollywood. They are going to seize any of the international assets of people that are Satanists, and I find that to be amazing. That is something that Donald Trump should be doing. I mean, obviously, I don't think you can, because in America, religion is protected. Even Satanism is considered a religion. But that's why I like some parts of Russia. He can go out and he can get shit done. America, you got this, you got to do that, you got to do this, you got to do that. But in Russia, he can get shit done. But there's a downside to that. He can also screw you over. So that's why there's a downside to everything.
Well, let's hope that Andrew Bailey. Look, two guys from Missouri have the opportunity to make a difference. Andrew Bailey, number one. Number two, Ed Martin, and a guy that Leanne worked with for a long time when she was in the local GOP here, ran Lincoln Days and several events. Ed Martin is a no-nonsense, I'm not fooling around. So is Andrew Bailey. I mean, when he was AG in Missouri, he was one of the only guys successfully sued the Biden administration several times. He was behind the lawsuits that opened up the Twitter files, all that suit. So I don't know, man. I just think there's no leadership from the top. And I'm almost sick of talking about this. I mean, it's like every show we're like, where the F is the justice we were promised?
And not only that, but new things pop up that deserve justice that aren't getting it. Every single time, new things are popping up. I do want to say, though, James, there's something interesting that they said earlier today, and I want to get your take on this. They actually came out and said that Tylenol increases autism in children if taken during pregnancy. What do you think about that?
No, I think it's great. I mean, the press.
Do you really think that's true, though? I mean, I don't see how that.
Yeah,
how would that occur?
Totally. Tylenol causes a lot of problems, bro. There's been more deaths from Tylenol than ivermectin by like times 10. People die every year from taking Tylenol.
Well, you can overdose on Tylenol, sure.
It's not just overdose. It attacks the liver. I mean, it's people think because the medicine's over counter that it's safe, but that's just not true.
So did you see, now I didn't get to see this. Were you able to see why they came to that conclusion that Tylenol causes autism?
It was a study that's been done that women that took Tylenol during their pregnancy had a much more likelihood of their child being autistic. Now it wasn't just Tylenol. They talked about vaccines.
I was going to say, what about the vaccines after birth? I mean,
they did talk about it. I mean, Trump recommended I didn't get to watch the whole thing. What I saw was a little disjointed. One of the things, and it made perfect sense. I mean, most have been saying this forever. Why do you give a newborn infant hepatitis B vaccine when you only get from sex or a dirty needle? Wait till they're 12. And I think what they're trying to play this, game, because you know how the vaccine groups, they're militant. What they're saying is that a lot of these vaccines, we're not saying get rid of them, we're saying wait till the child is more developed. And that is prudent. I mean, vaccine skeptics like myself have been saying that for years. There's no reason to give 70 vaccines to a kid that's not even a year old or whatever.
No, and then the kid's fine, and then you get all of a sudden they get 6 or 7 vaccines at one time.
Yeah.
You're shooting them in each leg, shooting them in each arm. And then all of a sudden they start acting. I mean, autism has massively increased since we've increased all these vaccines. I will say, though, the CDC has taken off their recommendation to get the COVID vaccine as one of the vaccines for children. They did just take that off of there. And I will say that Trump is doing good things. It's not all bad. It's not right. It's not even Trump that's doing the bad. It's not even bad. It's just inaction by his administration. But Trump himself is doing a lot. He's done a lot. Like I said, the CDC just took that off of there. They found out the Tylenol with the autism, and there's a whole bunch of other things. Doing the leftist organizations as a
Terror.
as terrorist organizations. That's huge. I mean, you know what that
going
does?
after the cartels, shutting down the border.
Exactly. And then the $100,000 fee for HB1 visas. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Do you know how much that will help the American worker get jobs?
Yeah.
I mean, now it's a $100,000 fee for each application for an HB1 visa. It used to just be $1,000. They'd pay $1,000. They'd get a worker from India for 50 cents an hour. Now it costs them $100,000. Oh man, and that helps. I mean, I'm sorry, some people may not like it. It may hurt free market, but free market kills American jobs in some ways. There's got to be some kind of protection. We are a country. We don't just serve the entire world.
Well, the problem is the markets haven't been free. I know you have spoken out against the tariffs, but I mean, if a Chinese, if we import something into China and they put a 30% tariff, are we just not supposed to do anything? I mean, the idea of the tariffs is to make it an even playing field.
Yeah, but see, now what we did with the tariffs, the reason we got rid of tariffs, like I said before, is because the poor people could no longer afford the higher prices on everything. Because back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, the tariffs were so high for reciprocal stuff that they were paying all these high prices. They could no longer afford it. So what did they do? They brought in income tax.
Yeah.
So that
helped.
They brought in income tax because it was supposed to affect everyone equally rather than the tariffs affecting the poor people. So they brought in the income tax, got rid of tariffs. Trump brought the tariffs back, and he's supposed to, either keep tariffs or get rid of income tax. Now we have tariffs and income tax. We are paying double taxes after already paying double taxes. We might as well work for nothing.
Look, the idea, this is not short term. One of the things the left does very well is that they think long term. I mean, they've been planning to take over America for 75 years.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And they have taken over most of our cultural institutions. But the idea on the tariffs is, look, if COVID taught us anything, we cannot depend on China to manufacture our antibiotics. The idea is to get more businesses to open in America and start manufacturing goods here again. And you know what? It's some short-term pain for long-term growth. Now, will it work? I don't know, but I think that's the idea.
But in the short term, it's killing a lot of people. And I don't mean physically, I mean monetarily killing people, because these tariffs now, I know a lot of businesses, not only do they already have to pay their regular taxes that were supposed to go away, you're supposed to have tariffs or income tax. We now have both.
Well, these are companies that are importing from China.
Well, yeah, but I mean, what else? I mean, right now, everything is in China. So then if you're going to do the tariffs, then at least lower the income tax rates for now if you're not going to get rid of them. You've got to give somebody relief. There's got to be some kind of relief.
I agree. But, if you want to point a finger at this, go back to frickin' George Bush Sr. and then his son and Obama and Clinton, who opened up, we're all about free markets, and we do NAFTA and the Asia Pacific thing, and it totally shipped. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when Americans made things, when Detroit was the leading car manufacturer in the world. We just quit making things, and the gravy was, you're going to get cheaper goods. Yeah, we did, but we're also screwed. I mean, COVID was terrifying when we found out that we didn't even make antibiotics here or aspirin and stuff like that, that it's all made overseas. It's like, my God, what have we done?
I mean, I completely agree. It's just, there's got to be some kind of relief. We can't just keep pumping money. Can't just keep making everybody pay and pay and pay with absolutely no relief. It's killing people. Monetarily.
The youngest people, I think that's one of the things that Charlie Kirk was really working on with the administration, and you never hear much about it, is the financial end. Look, he represented his base, and his base can't buy a home. Nope. I bought my first home when I was 26, and you could do it back then. They can't buy a home. They can barely afford groceries, so they all rent. It's the old Klaus Schwab. You rent, you won't own anything and you would love it. And it's really true. And that group that got Trump elected, who can't buy a home, they have to rent, prices are through the roof, they will quickly change sides if something isn't done.
Oh, yes. Yeah, and I don't know about change sides, but what they will do is stop voting.
Hey, they'll vote
I couldn't change
they'll
to the
vote for a
left.
socialist.
No, I couldn't. I mean, I don't know.
Not you. I'm talking about the 20 to 30.
Yeah. Well, the Gen Z would. Yeah, they would. I could see that happening.
In a heartbeat, dude.
I could see that happening.
They were promised by Charlie Kirk and by Trump that, look, the financial prosperity is around the corner. Trust the plan. Vote for Trump. Kamala doesn't offer anything. And yes, she had held nothing but empty promises. But when you got a guy like Mondami offering, look, we're going to put rent limits. We're going to collect taxes from the wealthy. We're going to distribute it downwards to you. They'll switch in a heartbeat.
Yeah, and see, the problem is...
And if we don't do something, we're in trouble in the midterms.
And honestly, now I will say, and this is going to sound a little harsh, but Charlie Kirk's murder will actually win us the 2026 midterms. Before that, we were going to lose by a landslide. We were going to lose massively because of the policies are not working. The tariffs are killing us. They're killing me. I go out to buy some shit. I got to pay double what I used to pay, but yet I'm also still paying income tax. So I'm losing my money, and then I'm paying double what I used to pay. So I mean, they're killing everybody. So the policies are not working. We're not getting any justice because his administration's not doing anything. Trump is the only one that does anything in his administration, and it's causing serious problems. And we were going to lose the 2026 midterms.
We need a bold move. I mean, honestly, if you want the bold move is delete the IRS and the income tax and institute a fair tax, a national sales tax.
If he did that before the 2026 midterms, we would win by a landslide.
I agree. And the economy would blow up.
It would be massive. Could you imagine? Everybody would have extra spending money. The economy would go. I mean, if you can abolish the IRS and abolish just the across the board national sales tax. Forget getting taxed just for working. You got to pay tax because you work. Just pay tax if you're going to buy something. That's it. All we've done, these dumb little promises. Oh, we're not going to tax Social Security. Well, it turns out they still do. You get a rebate, and we're not going to tax gratuities. No, you're still getting taxed on your tax. And it's only a 3-year thing. Also,
it's just bullshit. The fair tax. I mean, I've read the book, I've watched the movie, I've interviewed people about it. The fair tax. A lot of people went to bat for it. Rand Paul. Dr. Paul, Rand's father, did for Ron Paul for a long time. It makes so much sense. It would set the economy on fire, would unleash the American economy. Businesses would come over from overseas over here to be America because there's no income tax anymore. And people think, well, it would raise the prices, everything, because the percentage is about 22%, what they think you would need to cover. They'd say, oh, prices will go up 22%. No. When you buy a TV right now, you don't think that company that makes it has already figured out how much income tax they're going to pay? Of course they have. They've already added it to the price. So when you take that away, it's a net wash. It's a wash.
And not only that, but the money that you are being taxed before you buy that television or whatever it is you're going to buy, that money is also coming out for the price. So that money is money you're going to have extra to pay for it. But I mean, the younger generations, I don't know, man. It's just, to me, it just seems like nothing is being done for now or the future. The tariffs are not doing what we want them to do. How long do we have to wait before they abolishes the IRS? They talked about no income taxes. I mean, the United States literally had either tariffs or income tax. Those were the two things. You have one or the other. We now have both. I don't think people understand that now. We are being double taxed here. We are taxed on top of taxes.
Well, and what's sad, I don't think there's really any bold initiatives left in the Trump agenda. I don't see it.
He has to drop the IRS. That's it. That's
it's
the only
almost
thing
like
he can do.
he's made all the bold plans he's going to do. You know, he shut down the border. He instituted the tariffs. He's done this, done that. It's all these little things like naming Antifa terrorists. That's a good thing, and doing the crime, solving the crime. That's huge. I'm all for using. I mean, I don't want a police state, but I'm all for using these ATF and FBI guys are sitting on their butts. Go help the local police. I'm okay with that, you know.
Exactly. And I think if he could really, and one more initiative he does have, and that is to abolish income taxes. That's what he said was his goal. He's going to do that. He's going to abolish the income taxes. If he does that before 2026,
I don't think, did he actually ever say that, or he just kind of hint around?
He said he wants to abolish and he wants to get rid of income taxes. And now I don't know if he's actually put it on his agenda, but he said he wants to get rid of the income taxes, and that's what the tariffs were supposed to be eventually supposed to do, was get rid of the income taxes. But when is that going to be? After everybody is so taxed that they don't have any money left?
Yeah.
I just don't know, James.
He said in a speech in Florida, instead of taxing our citizens, we should be taxing foreign nations.
Mm-hmm.
He also said we had no income tax back then. The income tax came in 1913. Mm-hmm. Fox Business reported that he pitched the idea of eliminating the federal income tax entirely, replacing it with revenue from tax. I'm all for it, man. Do it.
By the way,
do it.
For everyone, what he just said, the income tax came in 1913. Let me tell you what else happened around that time, okay? The Titanic sunk in 1912. John Jacob Astor and Guggenheim and all them died. The people that were against the Federal Reserve died in 1912, and the Titanic
founding of the Fed happened at the same time.
The Federal Reserve was founded the very next year, and the income tax was put in right afterwards. So don't tell me that an iceberg miraculously sank the Titanic and it miraculously killed the rich people that were against the Federal Reserve. And then the very next year, the Federal Reserve and income tax were miraculously instituted. No, I'm sorry. Too many coincidences equal a conspiracy, James.
No, I've always held that. I mean, President Wilson even said on his deathbed, he regretted it, that he felt like he was pushed into it by these powerful bankers and the same people that are running the world today. Man.
Oh, yeah. You know, there is some funny, on the lighter side of the news, though, James, there is some funny stuff I want to talk about, okay? Because we do talk about, serious things and things that are, sometimes melancholy because it's serious stuff, that can sometimes be negative. But there's something funny that happened, okay? Kamala Harris is coming out with this new book, right? And it's a tell-all book that tells all about the things that happened, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that happened that was really funny is Kamala Harris said she called Gavin Newsom for an endorsement after Biden's exit, right?
Yeah, I
she
heard
called him. Did you hear about this? He brushed her off with a short text. He said, "Hiking will call back,"
and he never called her back.
Oh my God, it was wonderful. I want to read this book. I am buying the Kamala Harris book. I'm sorry, but she's going deep into the shit. I want something to talk about, and I think it's going to be absolutely hilarious. I mean, she's going to talk about Biden. She's
her political career's over, man.
Oh yeah, that book killed her. She's got nothing left. But it's going to be a big sell. I'm going to buy it. I got to.
Yeah, I actually heard Buck Sexton say today on air that he bought it, and Clay Travis was giving him hell. You gave her money? What the hell?
I got to read it, man. I got to. That's going to be some funny shit in there, man.
Maybe you should read. You should buy it and then just share it with all of us. Right?
There we go. I think I'll buy it. Yeah, there you go. I'll buy it and share it. That way everybody can read it for free. Who wants to pay Kamala Harris, right? But I got to say, the stuff that she has in there and some of the previews that I've seen are going to be hilarious. And speaking of stuff coming out, James, next Monday, we have
some big announcements.
Yes, huge announcement. Next Monday, we have the great Dinesh D'Souza coming on our show next Monday night to talk about his new movie coming out, The Dragon Prophecy, that is all about what happened with October 7th and then Palestine and the Hamas thing and Israel and all of that. And it's going to be great. You have got to see. And James, I know you're going to love it. I mean, Dinesh D'Souza, Police State, 2,000 Mules, one of the biggest political commentators of our time. I mean, he's up there with Charlie Kirk, if you ask me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited to get Dinesh on and get a chance to talk to him. And Jack and I will be able to screen the movie beforehand and ask him some questions about it. We can also say who our other big guest is, right? There's no reason to wait on
No, no,
that.
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
So we've got Dinesh D'Souza coming on next week, folks. That's a pretty big deal. And Jack booked him. I gave him credit, but I was a little jealous. So I said, man, I need to go book somebody. So I booked Gavin McInnes, founder of the Proud Boys. Gavin McInnes will be on the show live with us. When is that, Jack?
October 13th.
13th.
Yep, Monday, October 13th.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool, man. I mean,
it's going to be great.
Big names, particularly.
It's going to be great for our listeners. Huge. I mean, we got huge guests, and it's going to be awesome. I mean, Dinesh D'Souza is awesome, and Gavin McInnes. I honestly, I've got. I like both of them, but I got a lot of questions to ask Gavin McInnes about his stuff, because that's, I mean, but
he's led a crazy life.
He has. I mean, and it's funny.
Yeah, go ahead. He founded Vice Media and he started the Proud Boys.
And that's huge. I think he should write a book. I think Dinesh D'Souza should write a book about his life too. Both of them extremely interesting men. So those interviews are going to be huge. They're going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait till next Monday. And we're going to like James said, we're going to screen this movie. It doesn't come out until October 7th, but we're going to watch it. That way we can, talk intelligently about it, because I know it's going to be great. Everything he does.
I might watch it tonight, actually.
I'm going to watch it I'm going to watch it multiple times, because everything he does is so well researched, so well put together. He's brilliant. He's just a brilliant man.
Do you see what Free said?
Yeah, look at this.
I love it.
Look at this. Yeah. Free.
Free, I'm looking forward to that. I got to tell you, I did watch. I'm an old man. I'm going to have to take some extra shots of
no-dos. That Free was talking to me about no-dos last episode, so I don't know.
I watched most of your that's the first time I've ever seen the show, Free. By the way, you guys do a great job. It was a lot of fun. And I enjoyed the episode last week with Jack, but I had to fall. I'm asleep by 9 o'clock. But for your show, I'm going to be on. I think it's October 7th. Yeah, 7th.
October 7th. It's a Tuesday. Yep. It's a Tuesday, and it's going to be great. It's going to be you and me on the show with another guest. Free is the host, and it's called "Are You Smarter Than a Politician?" and it is an excellent podcast. You got to check that out. You also want to check out. There's some other ones. Casey puts out an excellent podcast. It's called "They Both Suck." There's so many people with great podcasts. Burnin' T, he does great spaces. I mean, you got Opinions Vary. There's just so many people that does great shows, great spaces, and that's going to be a lot of fun. But it's funny how Free said, we have great guests, but he's one-upping us because James is coming on his show on October 7th, it's going to be awesome.
I gotta say, I mean, I'm really looking forward. Dinesh is he's like OG in the conservative space. He really is, you know. I mean, and oh my gosh, what's his son-in-law's name? Is one of the rising stars in Congress. I mean, he is married to Dinesh's daughter, but man, Gavin's got some wild stories about the crap he's been through. Woo.
I know. I cannot wait to talk to both of these men. They are both smart men. And Dinesh, Dinesh, what is he? He's got like 5 million. He's just such a huge person on our side.
Obama sent him to prison.
Yeah, I remember. And that's another thing I want to ask you about. Now, obviously, most of the time we're going to be talking about his movie, but there are going to be chances for us to ask other questions. And I want to ask him about that too, because that's going to be very interesting, because I don't think a lot of people know that. And they should know that, because he was a political prisoner before political prisoners was a thing.
Yeah. And, I talk about a lot about my girlfriend, because she's wonderful. Leanne, one of our very first dates was to a Dinesh D'Souza movie. It was the one about Clinton. So that was a long time. It was like 12 years ago. I mean, you
got to tell him that. Make sure you tell him that.
Oh, I will, for sure. Yeah, Brandon Gill. Thanks, Free. I couldn't think of it. Brandon Gill's a rock star, I think. He's doing a really good job. Him and my friend and Congressman Eric Burleson. There's some young guns that are doing pretty well.
We should have him on sometime.
Eric will come on anytime.
We should have him. Yes, he sounds like a brilliant man. I've never spoken to him.
He really is.
We should definitely have him on But I just wanted to make sure everybody know next Monday we are going to have Dinesh D'Souza live on Secret America here for the whole show. It's going to be a lot of fun. And also, guys, if you guys want to put some questions in the chat, I'll see if I can ask him some. If we have time, I'm going to try to ask him some of the questions, things that you really want to know, about Dinesh D'Souza. Same thing with Gavin McInnes. Put some questions in the chat, and we'll try to get to them for you guys. It's going to be very, very fun, James.
And I love just when you and I do the show, but it's good to get some, some interesting guests like this. So we're going to keep reaching out to people in the movement. And hey, I told you last week that I'm going to do a call out for my radio program on KSGF to any leftist that wants to come on and debate me in honor of Charlie. And you know how many takers I had?
Zero.
Yeah. I've got like 4,500 followers on Facebook, and over half of them are liberal. I'm sure not one of them. They'll get on Facebook and, just spew all this
nonsense. They have
nonsense.
no real argument.
No,
all they have is insults and anger. They have no real arguments. Their whole party is led by emotion.
It's true.
Their whole party is led by emotion. So we
got a lot of stuff coming up, brother.
Oh, it's going to be so exciting. Great show. And, I just look forward to doing this with you. And just so everybody knows, we reach out to these people ourselves. I reached out to Dinesh D'Souza myself. James reached out to Gavin McInnes and stuff. We don't have like a producer or somebody that helps us do these things. We do all of this ourselves with our own money. Yeah, we pay for everything ourselves. So, it's not like, we have some kind of big production budget or somebody that helps us make phone calls or anything. So,
by the way, I'm glad you brought that up. You put out a tweet. It was a, buy me a coffee kind of deal. Jack and I have talked about this a lot. Look, we're totally transparent. This show doesn't cost us a fortune, but it costs money. We have to pay for the software. Of course, we have to pay for the equipment. There's recurring costs every month. We pay it out of our pocket because we love doing it, And so we've talked about we don't want to do ads ever. We're not going to do ads because I think ads just ruin the program. So, if you got an extra couple bucks or, buy us coffee. If not, we're still going to do the show. We didn't get into this to get rich or make money. That's not why we do it, right?
No, we're not going to get rich off of not until we get that big deal with Spotify. Once we get that deal with Spotify, or we're going to sign the contract that what's his face? Why can I not think of his name now? I'm freaking losing my mind here.
Joe Rogan.
Thank you, God. I'm losing my freaking mind. Joe Rogan or Howard Stern signing his $500 million contract with SiriusXM. Once we sign that contract, then we'll be good. You won't have to worry about anything, but that's just right around the corner, James.
Yeah, but look at Rogan. Rogan runs ads.
Yeah. See, if we ever make that kind of money, there will be no ads. We don't even make money doing the show and we don't do ads. That's never going to happen. Like, you see all those shows out there?
We get enough downloads. We could get advertising. For sure, I've looked into it. We could be doing ads right now. I see
that happening, though. I mean, you see all those podcasts. People watch our show because we don't have ads where we're constantly putting shit in the middle of our show.
I can't stand that. Honestly, I watch the quartering, and some and he's in 5 minutes and he goes, "Well, but let me tell you about our coffee."
Exactly. No, we're not going to do that crazy shit where we start telling you, "Hey, let me tell you about maxi pads." No, that's not going to happen.
You know what really sucks about that? I pay the premium, and it's not cheap. It's like $20 a month for YouTube Red, so I don't see ads on YouTube. Yet I subscribe to these guys, so instead of seeing ads, they do their own ads during the show. It's
ridiculous.
It's kind of like paying for Sling TV, but every program has ads. When cable, most people don't know this, when cable TV first came out, the whole idea was you pay for it. There's no advertising because you're paying for it. Now, even Prime is like putting ads.
Ads in between.
I hate advertising.
It's ridiculous. The farthest thing I would go on this show is if we ever got a sponsor and we would put like the ticker at the bottom that says sponsored by or whatever. But I'm not going to stop in the middle of the show and say, "Hey guys, make sure you buy this," or "Hey, do this." No. I might say Secret America sponsored by maxi pads, but I'm not gonna say, "Hey guys, why don't you try maxi pads?" It's just not gonna happen.
Someone said something about Don Lemon, but let's get Don Lemon on the show.
I would love to get Don Lemon.
No,
I would
we
love
should
to
get some
Tucker
leftists.
Carlson. Deb said we
God.
should get Tucker. I mean, but see, the thing is, we can only get the people that we can reach. I was able to reach Dinesh D'Souza through DMs because he follows me on X. That's the only reason I was able to reach him. Most of these people will not allow you to DM them unless they follow you. So we can't reach a lot of these people.
Well, you can reach Tucker. You got to go through his agent, though.
Well, I think I'm just going to hide out next to his car. He's got to come outside sometime.
Yeah, I mean, I found Gavin's email because I know how to research emails.
So well, find me Tucker Carlson's personal cell phone number.
Yeah. Right.
Oh,
yeah, well, I guess we'll leave it at that, my brother. It's been a great show. We appreciate you guys in the chat, and we'll see you next week. Don't forget, Dinesh D'Souza next week, Gavin McInnes, October 13th. I'm James Clary. He's Jack Danger at Secret America. We will see you next week.
You've been listening to Secret America with Jack Danger and James Clary.